Well, guys, it's that time of year again where the Farm Bill got passed, and now we get to listen to Joe Public. Now, going to the cities for a lot of years as work to support my farming habit, you heard a lot from the public, and they'd always be like, "Oh yeah, here comes, why don't I just give you cash right now?" And I'm like, "Hey, thanks, yeah, I could use that $10." But they were upset because the Farm Bill, would always have some money for farmers to get subsidies and crop insurance to be subsidized, and then as everybody started having smartphones and stuff, then it was, well, look at this guy. He don't even have to wash his own stuff. He just hires people to wash his stuff. He just has people change his belts for him in his combine, and look at how silly that is. Look at this one time he can run and jump on stuff. And this other guy, they didn't even need the chisel plow. They just bought another chisel plow just because they're funny and it's fun and whatever. And it's just like, no, that's not how this farm works. This farm cares, and we're a real farm. A real farmer gets up in the morning, and he has to go to work somewhere, and then, for his off-farm job. That's real farming. Real farming gets home at night and then scrambles to feed the cattle before dark. Real farmers they go do farm business management for other farmers. They dry other people's corn. They sell seed. They sell chemical and fertilizer and precision equipment. They fix things, and they build railroads, and they build roads, and they're mechanics and salespeople and all walks of life. They drive the school bus on the part-time. There are your real farmers out there that the public needs to start seeing. You realize how many videos I got sent from my non-farming friends of the Minnesota Millionaire, and just like, here you go, yep, sure glad we have tax subsidies, and you're just like, oh my God. There's a representative millennial at Washington, and neither one of them are my representative. They're both just millennial crap that spew things out that contribute nothing to the good of the whole. Are they nice people? Sure. Do they do a good job of making videos? Yeah, okay. Is their content and what they say really tangible to help move the industry forward? No. It's all fluff pieces, just like Ag PhD and RFD radio. There's information, how to check for losses behind your combine. Here's why I broadcast fertilizer. Here's why I do tillage. But it's so great that this is the example that Joe Public can send a guy. And when I get other farmers sending me messages and meeting me at places and being like, you know what? This is a crock of crap that we have to listen to Joe Public tell us that we're not poor farmers. There's no such thing as a poor farmer. And now there's more subsidy payments because of the YouTube celebrity stars. That's really frustrating. Yeah, this is a touchy subject. Yep, it's not a fun one to have, but it needs to be had. I'm kind of done. I used to really be a major defender on social media of like why crop insurance should be subsidized, and farmers, we need subsidies because we don't get to set our own price. The government sets our price, so the least the government can do is give us some subsidies. But now when you think about it, like, no, the subsidy program just helps more large farmers, or as all the non-farmers say, factory farming and corporate farming, because that's just how it works. When you get $5,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 as a subsidy payment, what does that do? We all have a similar cost of living. It all costs us the same to build a house and buy food and keep cars and gas and kids in school and your normal family living kind of stuff. Everybody has something there. But when you get a subsidy payment of $80,000, $90,000, $120,000 or more, that's a whole lot different than a guy that got $10,000. I don't care how you say it. You can defend it by saying, well, it's all on a per bushel basis. And no, that is a line of crap. It is just the fact that it just helps the large farmers get larger and the small guys get out, get pushed out. What is $10,000? At the end of the year, if I took $10,000 and ran around my neighborhood to try and grab some land with $10,000, what's that going to do? That buys an overhaul. If somebody brings us a tractor to overhaul, give us your subsidy payment, you're good to go. If somebody gets a $100,000 check from the government, that pays for your cost of living for almost 2 years. Well, at that level, that might only pay for your cost of living in 1 year because you're probably living a very nice life. You get to upgrade a piece of equipment. You get to buy a brand new truck cash out. Thanks to Uncle Sam, you know, $100,000. You could take that and go to a bidding contest, and them are the things that the Joe Public sees, and it's so frustrating. Joe Public hears about closed auction bids, you know, when that kind of stuff makes the papers, and then you go to work the next day and be like, "Oh, look at there! Oh yeah, tell me again how farming's so poor when there was a closed auction bid at such and such township, and they bought the land for $10,000 an acre. Farmers are buying land for more money than contractors are. Can you tell me again how hard it is to be a farmer, Mr. Farmer?" It's like, oh my God, that's not reality. Yep, there's a lot of silver spooners around. Yep, there's a YouTube channel of a millionaire farmer on every state of the country. That's just how it is. Some people have had a good life. They've been dealt a great, easy life. We always laugh because if you have to put gloves on to shovel for a little bit because your tile line's broke, you've had a pretty soft life. You know, when you can't even wash your own equipment or change a couple belts, give me a break, crybabies. But that's what Joe Public sees. And we as farmers need to do a better job of educating the public of what reality of farming is. My part is next summer, once the farm is set up for tours, is we're going to work with the elementary school or even the high school, the FFA and 4-H classes that are local or the closest ones that are still in existence, to bring them on out to do a farm tour and just spend a couple hours on the farm and just seeing that, yep, there are farmers out here that do care about the land. We don't need to tile by the square foot. We don't need to, you know, have the soil black and blowing all the time and waste a bunch of diesel fuel and blah, 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 blah. That cattle actually could walk around and feed themselves. You know, not everything is a 10,000 steer feedlot with these animals just crammed together. You know, some of us interact with our cows and our steers, and some of us had names for all our dairy cows, and, you know, they were part of the family. Them were your life. They weren't this thing that you just ran through a factory. You had a relationship with every single one of them, because while they're milking, you had a minute or two to comb them and brush some dust off their back, and you know, at the spring of the year when they're shedding, you had the brush on your hand, and while the milkers were on, you hurried up, got all 4 milkers on, and then you combed them, and you know, you picked 1 or 2 to comb, or you walked by and you scratched their tail head, because just like a puppy dog, if you scratch a puppy dog by his tail head, they just go crazy. They arch their back and they just go crazy. You had a good relationship with them cattle, and it'd be nice to show the public that them farms, that's how farms work. You know, that's how farms work. Let's just be honest. And so we just got to educate public better. I'm kind of done putting up. So I guess when some of the non-farmers were debating this, you know, you're trying to defend farming, and when they ask, well, what would happen if crop insurance ended, and you're like, well, geez, then the price would go up, and then people would probably stop using the crop insurance, and then what? Well, and then either crop insurance would have to come down, or you better hope you don't have a natural disaster, and maybe there'd be some sort of natural disaster support, but you better hope you don't have to rely on that. And they're like, because what would happen? Well, because, geez, you know, farmers would go out of business. Big and small would be kind of out of business then. And then what? Well, and then other farmers have to do. So it's just it was like having a conversation with that 4-year-old. Why, Dad? Why? And you're just trying to answer all of them, and by the end of a great discussion, you're just like, you know what? I concede. I get your point. I get your point as to maybe we don't need any of the programs anymore. Maybe farmers need to thin their own herd a little bit, and I think if you get rid of a lot of the subsidies, you got a fighting chance to get rid of some of the mega farms, just as you do some of the tiny farms. Maybe some free market kind of stuff would allow small farmers to start to work together some, and who knows where it could lead to, but it leads to, as of right now, this isn't a fun discussion, but let's keep the discussion going. What do you guys think of the farm subsidies as far as the large farm versus the small farm? What do you think of crop insurance subsidies? what do you think of doing a better job of helping Joe Pub or educating the public? And so I will end it with them questions. Keep the discussion going below. And guys, thank you very much for watching.